I'm Brian from Rhizomatic. Today I'm going to show you how to create an expressive pad in Plasmonic with lots of MPE modulation. And I'm very excited because I will be playing an Expressive E Osmose. The Osmose is a fantastic instrument and it's a joy to play. And I'm finding that the Osmose and Plasmonic are a perfect match. So the first thing, I've got Plasmonic open in Logic. First thing to do is make sure you are in MPE mode. You should do like this. There. Okay, that's not an ideal patch. I'm going to select the initialize patch. I want to start with just a sawtooth going in ladder filter. And we'll turn this off. Okay, so I'm going to apply pressure to the filter frequency. I'll turn it up. Now, the way the Osmose implements MPE slide is different from the Rolly. On the Rolly, it would be controlled by your position of your finger on the key. But with the Osmose, slide is basically a second pressure zone. So the first half of pressure is pressure. And then if you go down further, you get MPE slide. So now I'm controlling the filter frequency with slide. So I have to push down all the way for that to start having an effect. So slide is like additional pressure. Okay, and I want to smooth that a little bit. Smooth the pressure some. I always like having a smooth decay and a sharp rise. Okay. Now, of course, we can control any parameter this way. So let's try applying this to some other parameters. Okay, turn up fold. Fold is like sync, but it's self-contained. It doesn't have anything to do with the other oscillator. It's just contained within one oscillator. I apply it to slide. It's maybe a bit more than I want. I'm going to smooth that some. And I'm going to apply this to symmetry as well, the symmetry of the waveform. So it'll be maybe a little bit less obvious. But I'm going to invert this. That's kind of loud, but turn on the other oscillator and maybe set it to square. Okay, and I'm going to randomize this just a little bit. Okay, that way the pitch will be a little different with every note you play. And I could apply slide to the symmetry as well. Same way I did with the other one. Invert. Okay. Now I want to soften this a little bit. So I'm going to turn on the resonator. Now, if you're playing oscillators through the resonator, You want to turn resonance down to start with. You don't want it to ring too much because it'll honk at you. And I'm going to route the filter through the resonator. So we'll see what. Okay, you can see it's pretty loud now. It makes it less aggressive. And I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure to the volume. Okay. And if I apply damping, high frequency damping, softens it even more. But I could control this with slide, and I will invert it such that so the first half of the note, first half of the pressure zone, there's a fair amount of damping. Okay. So it gets quite a bit brighter as you really dig in. Okay. I'm also going to control the output position. This gives kind of a chorus flange type of effect. Okay. I have a lot of parameters being modulated by MPE, and it makes it more kind of less obvious sounding, a little more natural sounding than if I were just controlling the filter frequency, for example. So I think we need to add some effects to this. Sympathetic. Sympathetic is an area of resonators that are tuned to different notes. And if you play one of those notes, it'll ring. So it's sort of like, adds sort of a drone or a harmonic sort of resonance. So here it's tuned to fifths, and the bass note is C, so if I play a C or a G, it resonates a lot. But if I play other notes, it won't resonate as much. That doesn't resonate much, but you can still hear some of the C. That could use some damping. I want it to be kind of there. And now the dynamics, that's too much. That's kind of a lot. That's without the dynamics. Maybe I could try a different scale. I'm going to try this Lydian scale, which is like... It's still a little aggressive. Let me turn that down. I should turn that down. Use a little more effects, but kind of a pseudo reverb. more thing I'm going to do. I'm going to control feedback on sympathetic with the ADSR. And what that will do is sort of like using the sustain pedal on piano. It'll ring a lot while I'm holding notes down, and then when I release, it will cut it out progressively. So, like that. That's maybe too much. Okay, this sort of cleans it up when you change chords. Yeah, so I like to control feedback in the effects section, either with an ADSR or with a sustain pedal.